My name is Melita Dixon, and I'm from Jamaica. My life before Jamaica um, was very interesting because I was just a young teenager. At 16, I was doing Jamaica local examination and day relief to go to college, not college, sort of having tuition. I worked with the basic school, which is like you would call kindergarten here, age between 3 and 6. Because when they're 7 years, then they begin to go to school over there. Back in those days, um, I had a very hectic teenager's time because after 16, working in the school, I got make my life committed to the Lord, and I became a committed Christian. That was the age of 16, and I began to work with evangelists and ministers of the church, evangelizing, sang in the choir, and I've always wanted to be a nurse. So my dad suggested that I should go to England, where I had 3 brothers and my elder sister. So I came to Leicester, to them, and settled in Leicester. So that was my life in Jamaica, coming to England. And coming to England, I worked when I was 19 for about 3 weeks or so into a restaurant collecting cups, wiping down tables at the store, Lewis's store. He's no longer in Leicester, no longer there. And I was sent home every 3 o'clock because I was not 21 yet. 21 was the age when you become adult in those days, not 18. So when it come 3 o'clock, that was very good to me at that time. Send home Melita because she's not 21, she need to go. So that was then my life, short life there before I went into nursing. Because I'm in England just to do nursing. And this is where I need a nudge now to get down to the next one. So I came into nursing because I've always wanted to be a nurse. I have that caring attitude to care for people. I like to see people relaxed, comfortable, and I thought, being a nurse, I could be a part of that, to get the best out of people, and so I wanted to be a nurse. My history in nursing in England is a very mixed one, very complex, because I started out as a nursing assistant for 2 years in the afternoon when the children was young. And then I trained as a mental nurse. I worked a little while at the Towers Hospital after training. And then I went off to the General Hospital because I wanted night duty. While the children was in bed, I could work so that they know where I am in the day in case anything happened at school. I'm always on hand. So I worked there for a while. And then I did my general nursing, which is like RN, registered nurse. It was RGN in those days, registered general nursing. But now it's RN. And so I enjoyed it, and it was hard after juggling everything, family, church, work. It was hard. But it was rewarding because I thank God I had strength and the children was well. God gave me children that was well, and they didn't need any physical caring and total caring. They did what they could and I did what I could, and that's how it was. Racism. I encountered ever so much racism in nursing and out of nursing. The neighborhood where I lived was predominantly white, and therefore it was just a battle getting the children going out. When they go in the street, they were told to get back their end, and so on. It was very, very difficult. However, we stood our ground and we let them know we're here to stay, and so we managed to overcome in many ways. The racism at work, the patients were very, very, very racist. They were racist, and they were saying, take your black hand off me in the early days. Don't touch me. I don't want that black nurse to come. I don't want her. I want a nurse. And when you go to give assistance, they will say, I don't want you. I want a nurse. And sometimes I retaliate respond by saying, you want a nurse? I'm a nurse. And other times, I just say, well, then you wait for the nurse you want. And that was very, very insultive. But there are a few patients that would say, well, then, oh, these black nurses, they really do the job well. And I'd rather to have them than my own. Some will say that. And some will say that. And as a black nurse, we have to be very, very, very thorough, because you will soon get somebody complain about your work, and you will be marked down by saying you're not a good nurse, and and give you a bad report, because we have to have appraisal with the nurses, with the connection with the relatives, and connection also with the patients. So we have to be on our guard, and it was hard, but we learned to work the system. But we make sure that the patients are always comfortable and do the best for them. Our intention, my intention as a nurse, and most of the black nurses that we worked with, was to do our prevention at all times, and also to assist when they need a cure of the condition, and also to make sure that everything worked by the book. And so that's how it was. We had to have good friendship and relationship, not so much friendship, but relationship with the visitors, the relatives, the patients, and your colleagues. So it was all tied in together. And different areas of nursing, you got the wards, you got the domiciliary visits, and then I went off to the community nursing, which I thoroughly enjoyed, going into the homes and with the GP, referring to the GP and calling the police if I need go in the home and find anything that is not right. Get the police, the housing not right, you call the council, this patient is into a drafty house and there's a lot of pets in the house, and you have to have your eye open also for the abuse, little children being burnt with cigarette. Then you got to go and report it to the social worker. So it was a multi-discipline unit and situation that we was in. We're not just nurse now. And we had to cover all areas of nursing, which now they are doing something different, special nursing, and special nurse for this and special nurse for that. I was like a link nurse. We go to different lectures and meetings and presentation and come back to the nursing colleagues and disseminate to them what you have learned and how they're going to put these new things in place. It could be for ulcer, it could be for diabetes, it could be for HIV and different kind of stroke. They got different things coming out, so you have to go back and call a meeting and say, this is what the meeting was about, and we have to do things different now because it is found and noted, documented, that if it's done the way we are doing it, it will cause danger to the patient. So it was very interesting. The community nursing was very good as well, in the sense that I end up doing special nursing in sickle cell thalassemia, wherein I was a special nurse in that area, wherein I was quite happy, and all my nursing journey, 35 years, it was very, very near to home, because I was nursing my own black people, and I could relate with them, and they was being seen as if they are being putting it on, and it's not really painful when they go in crisis. So we had to advocate with the hospital, go in there and make it known that these people are really in crisis, and let them know what crisis was and what sickle cell was, and a meeting with the teachers and social workers and the school nurse, and just try to advocate for these family because nobody would take them serious. And they got the child psychology, which the children affected. They get stroke with the sickle cell condition. So it was very, very, very difficult, but it was rewarding, very rewarding. And so I continued going on and fighting many battles, but it was hard and enjoyable. It was a bittersweet thing. It was bittersweet, but it was good. It was good. I would encourage this generation to go in nursing if they feel they have the passion and they want that career. It's a vacation because the money is not that good, but it's rewarding and it's satisfying to see people being poorly get better and go back home. You feel like you have contributed something. And it is for the sake of the patient, not the NHS, not the money, but you have to have that vocation and that desire to be that caring person to become a nurse. Comparing the nursing now, I think it's better in a way wherein you can specialize in your area. You can be a diabetic nurse. You can be a asthmatic nurse. You can be a pulmonary nurse that just deal with lungs. You can be a neuro nurse. You could choose, and then you just focus on that nurse, that condition, and that you can learn and you can explore and you can put all your energy there because that's your field. But when I was trained, it was the complete general. You have this long ward with 30 patients, 35 patients in, and you have to know every patient, what they're there for, and what treatment they're having. And relatives ring up, you have to know every patient on the ward. But now, if you ring the ward, they'll say, it's not my patient. And they have to go and call the nurse who is in charge of that patient. But we had the complete ward, and you have to know. So I think a lot of pressure is off the nurses in that way, wherein they can now focus on the individual choice and the individual type of nursing that they choose to specialize in. So there are some improvement, but we had done the donkey work. We had to lift. When we first came, we were like domestic, dishing out the meal. Now they have the meal come up on a trolley and you order your menu. The trolley came up and we have to give the patients their meal. And it's a good thing because you see what they eat and you make sure that they eat balanced meal. And you know who's on special diets and you get to know the patients. But now everything is in a package and everything comes up. So that's how it is. Where I am now, I am retired after 35 years and I would do it all over again. I've not regretted it because I've learned so much. I've met so many profession and professors in nursing from different parts of the country. We go different places for lecture and we learn an awful lot. I learned an awful lot and I will do it all over again. It was a very interesting vacation and it was hard, but it gives you an ocean of experience and it makes you a better person. It's a good thing to know that you have done something and you feel rewarded. You might not get the praise of men, but you feel that you have done something to help your community, to help the human race, and you feel satisfied. But racism will never, ever finish unless we have it from the top, because it's from the top. And you find that people will want to make themselves bigger and better than they are. And so we have the rota that we do. They will make sure they got the best nurse when they're on duty. So the job is done in a different way. And when the black nurse is in charge of the ward, you might have just one NA around you. And you have to do everything what 6 people would do. So the racism is not upfront and calling you black But the service and the pressure that you're under is twice as much as the white ones, because it's very complex, and it will show that you can't manage the job, you can't do your work. When we are on, this happened and that happened. But they have got 6 staff on, qualified staff, when you only got 1 qualified nurse, 2 NAs. And you've got the theater runs, and we have a time when we go emergency call, when we are on take. That means anybody with any patient with any medical needs will come to your ward, and you got to admit them. But if accident and emergency, they go to the Royal. But we used to be on take. When emergency night, we have 8 beds. And although you have all the different things to do, you have to make sure that you on take and admit those patients. And it's been rough, but it's rewarding. And I'm glad I did it. I'll do it all over again. So, in closing, I would encourage young men as well to go in. And we need them more than ever, because now we can see how many black AME are in the front line dying. And it could be the stress that they're under. Consultants are dying because the stress that it takes to get to that level in your system. And you expect to keep on going, do the best, be your best with the worst of condition. So it's a good thing. It's a good career, but there's a lot of racism in there. But you have to really stand up for yourself. And if they have the gloves and you need the gloves, so well, then I'm not doing it without the gloves.